Waiting. In progress. Come on. Stream validation. It's live. All right. We are live. Okay. Uh, Thank you for joining me on this morning. And so I just have three questions. We're going to be talking about millennials and how millennials view the church today. And so I just have three questions that I want to engage you in on this morning. And so just give me your name.
My name is Avery Watts.
All right, Avery. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to be a black millennial? What does it mean to be a millennial? Not even a black millennial, but what does it mean to be a millennial in this world?
To be a millennial is to be blamed for something that had nothing to do with you. But in all seriousness, it's the new age, turn of the millennium, dealing with a whole new wave of technology, convenience, instant gratification, and a skill that, or actually a lack of a skill for a lot of people to create and nurture relationships, beneficial ones at least.
Okay, and so there's a lot of conversation about how the church is shrinking, or the church in the West or North America is dying. And so when we look at the church in general, when we look at the black church, the black church has always been the cornerstone in the black community. But what we're finding in a lot of the research is that a lot of the churches a lot of the black churches are also following this trend in the West and in North America, where there are more churches that are becoming more and more empty, while a lot of churches begin to close and sell their properties and all kinds of things like that. So, how do you think in today's society, how do you think black millennials view the church?
Well, I think it's a multifaceted answer. On one hand, I do know a lot of black Christians who are still in the church.
And these Christians are your age?
Yes, my age. But then I know a lot of black Christians or I know a lot of black Christians that say they're Christian, but they don't necessarily go to church every Sunday, or they only go on Easter, only go for Christmas service, Thanksgiving service, Good Friday service, and things like that. And then there's the black people who don't go to church but say they're Christian, and then there's finally the people who have given up the belief in Christianity or just religion in general, and just have, I wouldn't say they have an absence of spirituality, but actually quite the opposite. They view, just from posts I've seen online, they view Christianity as a white man's religion, and that religion being used for years to subordinate black people in America, to make them submissive, and to make them basically pray for a better standing in the United States or just in the world, but nothing improving. And I think that kind of goes back to the instant gratification trait I mentioned earlier. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And so when you say that there's this sense of spirituality, there's this sense of Christianity being a white man's religion. There's this sense that there are some still that are dedicated going to church. And then there are some that would identify as Christian but don't go to a building on a Sunday consistently, may go on special occasions. And so, with that being said, I guess my last question then is, what do you think the church needs to do in order to engage more black millennials to come to church on a consistent basis and to be a part of the life of the church? Or do you think it's important for millennials to come to church every single Sunday, or not? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not really that important. What do you think?
I honestly believe that there is still a place for coming to church on Sundays, but I don't think it works for. I don't believe it works for everybody. So I think that churches need to adapt. I think they need to try and get or try to become more relevant in the eyes of black millennials or just millennials in general. For black people specifically, showing they kind of have, I feel like they kind of have to prove or show their relevance to the situation that we're in now. Because as I was just saying in the last question, essentially a lot of black people feel like it's irrelevant because we've been praying for generations, but the status in our country has been, in some eyes, stagnant or faltering. So people just want to be, they want to be equals, they want to be treated as equals, but they don't believe that going to church and praying to God and having faith in God is what's going to bring that. So churches just need to make church relevant again.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for your thoughts and your honesty. And this is the Rock Church, and this is what we're calling some of our new live streaming that we're having at the church. Thanks, man.
Of course.